So guys, I can't even see myself. I had this beautiful idea of being outside and I can't see myself. So let me change chairs. Let me see. I'm going to go around and around here for just a second because I can't see. And then I feel like I'm talking to nobody, and that's just so not cool because I am talking to somebody. I'm talking to everybody on here, right? All right. So a little bit better. I can kind of sort of see myself. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. Absolute beautiful day. And I've got like all of our trees around here are just blooming. There's just pink and white blooms everywhere. It's like spring has definitely sprung. I think Texas has finally gotten on her meds. Mother Nature here got on her meds and decided that springtime is definitely definitely here, because it has just been like, it was so freaking cold. I mean, there was like, even yesterday I was bummed because yesterday I had suntan for like 3 days in a row, spent an hour each day just laying out here on my back patio suntanning, and it was just so nice to break it down and get into my bikini and start tanning and everything. And yesterday the clouds rolled in and there was this chill coming in. And I was just going, oh my God, this is just, ugh. I was mad with Mother Nature. I was having a little chat with God. I was like, this is not cool, people. This is not cool. But today's a completely different story. Sky is as blue can be, and it just makes everything so much better. I just feel better when the sun is shining. I do. I should someday. I think I'm going to just move and have like a tropical house someplace, and everybody's just going to have to come see me there, because that's where I'm going to be, on a beach in the sun, tan, really tan. But now, so here we are. It's lunchtime in Texas and a few other places in the world. And I did not get to get on here earlier in the day, and I was like, that's okay. That's totally cool, because when I'm on at 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I get to actually have a whole group of different people participate in Conscious Coffee, or Conscious Water in this case. And it really is just, it's nice to kind of break it up and not always be on in the morning. So it's nice to have afternoon and as well evening sometimes. But it's interesting how the last couple little days, and as I'm rolling through my day and I'm doing different stuff, how things keep coming up to me. And everybody knows I have a kindergartner, so I have this kindergartner, and I'm at school this morning. It's like all this different traffic going, foot traffic and car traffic, and most of the parents, I would say, are anywhere from probably like 27, 28 years old up to, I'm probably one of the older parents there these days. This is just so weird to say, because I've always been the young mom. I know I'm like the old mom, which is just weird. Oh, by the way, I still have a daughter that's pregnant. No baby yet. Everybody will know when she pops, that's for sure. She is 90% effaced and 1 centimeter dilated, as her appointment was yesterday. So my eldest daughter, who is a couple days overdue now, that's where she's sitting. So if all of a sudden my phone goes bzz, 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 or you hear somebody run in and go, "Mom, there's a baby's head crowning," that's because I'm being her doula, and she's having a water birth, and I get to be her doula as her midwife is proclaiming it, because she's going to the same midwife that delivered my youngest too. So they're just like, well, your mom just gets to be your doula, so I get to be there, and like, yeah, it's going to be a completely different experience than actually giving birth. This whole process has been such a blessing and so interesting to be on, basically like the support side of pregnancy, because I've never actually done that. I've had friends be pregnant, but I've never been as involved as I am, obviously, with my daughter's pregnancy. So it's definitely been interesting. But this morning, so yeah, kindergarten, right? And there's all these different things going on, and I'm walking my son. I have my 4-year-old with me and my 6-year-old, and we're walking into the school because he always wants me to walk him into school, give him a kiss. I have to like take him all the way in, and then I kiss him. And as we're walking across, there's a crossing guard, and there's the kids that are letting people out of the cars and everything, the other kids out of the cars, the helpers. And there's all these adults that are, like I said, like 28 years old or so up to their mid 40s, and everybody's just pissed off. They're just so pissed off. It's like they're mad at all the other parents for having children and being at the school. And it was just humorous to watch because they're mad at the crossing guard for stopping the traffic to let kids and parents bringing kids to school cross. And they're just like, I don't know, the energy was just wacky this morning. I see this every morning, and there's always like little fender benders going on in the parking lot and stuff, and people just like rushing around, and like they whip around those corners. I'm like, this is our children, like slow the F down. It's our kids walking around out here, and not to mention us, right? Like who wants to get hit by a car? Nobody. But fast forward a little bit, and I get home, and then there's just, I've got my preschooler with me, and we're just kind of chilling and relaxing, and I was writing out my journal stuff, doing my mindset work, and just really, because I had taken a training from my mentor last night and had a killer VIP coaching appointment yesterday. I was thinking about some of that stuff, and I was thinking about like, what could I write on today? What can I share? Like what are some of the things that I want to share on? And I knew that I wasn't going to do conscious coffee first thing in the morning. I was just really just chilling and just relaxing. And I think that that's really, kind of like being a mompreneur, being an entrepreneur. It's one of the biggest blessings of that is that you can just kind of set your own schedule. And actually, one of the journal prompts that I was working on for myself was just that. Like, what if I had all the money that I wanted in the bank and I didn't need for anything? So totally take money out of the equation. Then, what would my day look like? And it was so nice to realize that I just listed down probably about 12 different things that I would do consistently on a day-to-day basis. And I looked at it and I was like, holy crap, like I already do this. Like this is my life. There's a couple things that I need to implement, that I need to get better on. They have absolutely nothing to do with my business, which means that they have absolutely everything to do with my business, because it's all about energy. It's all about that charge and finding that charge there and just really getting into that vibe and really focusing in on it. So I was just thinking about it, and I was looking at this list of 12 different things, and out of it, I think there was maybe 2 or 3 things on the list that I could either improve or I could implement into my daily routine to level myself up into having that day that if money didn't matter and it wasn't needed at all because I had everything that I needed in that category, that my day would just be just what it is, and everything else I'm already doing. So that was like, yay, as I'm already doing that. It was just nice to have that, confirmation there that really truly I have this really full life, because I think that we all tend to forget how amazing our world is on a day-to-day basis and the blessings that we do have, and because we get so caught on the problems, on the challenges. We get caught on sitting in the carpool lane at school and being 10 minutes late to our next destination, and we get frustrated with that, and we start to feel like, well, if this would just happen, and if that would happen, and blah blah blah, and all this different stuff. So we start to finger point out, when it comes back to that we really are just blessed. We are a blessed society across the board in so many ways, especially in the Western worlds. Like we have so much to be grateful for, and we lose sight of our blessings because of this stupid little crap that we turn into these mountains, right? Like these mountains. And that's where the title of this came from, was, the 40-year-old kindergartner, because it's the 40-year-old, and I use 40 because I'm going to be 43 this year, so 40 somethings, right? And I just go, come on, people, like, I thought we were supposed to be adults. And I last time I checked, like, I'm friends with adults, I work with adults, I coach with adults. The people in my brackets are adults. Now, granted, my house is full of kids, and I have a heck of a lot of kids around me all the time, and sometimes my children are more intelligent and emotionally and mentally mature than some of the adults in my world, which should not be that way. It should not be that way that my 13-year-old or my 16-year-old or my 19-year-old can sit down and like smack somebody with, like some maturity and their elders. It's just crazy. But anyway, so I was looking and I was just thinking about, okay, so here we have all this emotional immaturity going on, because that's what it really comes down to, emotional immaturity. And one of the biggest things, I haven't posted on Facebook, I went camping this last weekend, did a family spring break camping trip with my kids and everything. Went down to Dinosaur Valley and did a whole bunch of just really cool shit down there. Just, like good grounding, roasted marshmallows, s'mores, I had a day of fishing and everything. I'll make sure to post pictures and stuff, catch everything up, because I've just been kind of behind on that. And one of the things, Addison actually came with my family down there, and I was just, we had this whole running thing going on about insults and taking things very personal, like, I'm offended. Oh, I'm so offended. So by the end of the trip, I told Addison, I said, oh, nice. Now you've called me old, fat, you've called me stupid. What was the other one? Oh my God. There was like, and not that she was actually calling me these things. It was that a statement was made and I just took off running with it in a playful way. But I was just like, oh, so, like the fat comment was, I was talking to somebody else who was camping with us, and I had said something about like, this person was really cold the night before. Was really, really cold the night before. And I was like, why were you so cold? Like, I was not that cold. We were in the same tent and I was not that cold. I'm like, why were you so cold? And they say to me, well, if you just don't, if something like, you don't understand, when I lost all that weight, now I can't keep warm. And I was like, does that mean that you're calling me fat? Like, because you lost weight and now you're slim, that am I fat because I was hot last night and you were cold last night? And I was just joking around, but because I know I'm not fat, and if I was, then that would be my gig, right? Like, that's my body. It's whatever the heck I want. To each his own, as long as you're happy with yourself. That's how I look at it. Weight does not really freaking matter on anything. But my point was that in that, it kind of got this running theme going, and the things that we say to each other and that we tell each other. Like, I always get told, somebody will find out that I have 7 kids, and they'll say, oh, well, you look good for having kids. Now, this statement, I used to run with it all the time. In my 30s, I was just like, oh my gosh, I was I'm trying not to say cuss on here, so I'm just gonna try not to cuss, because I'm actually gonna try to boost this video later. So I'm trying to behave myself, like, let's behave myself, be a good girl. Anyways, I was not very kind when somebody would say, oh, well, you look good. You look good for having kids. And my comeback was, so what you're saying is that I wouldn't look good if I had never had kids? And I'm like, what? No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. Like, no, you look good. I'm like, yeah, but you said you look good for having kids. And, there's this statement there. We don't realize half the time what we're saying and the impact that it can have, or how it can be translated to somebody else. Well, there's that side of it, right? Like, be a little bit more conscientious of what you're saying and the impact that it might have and how it might be translated and what you're truly saying. Like that particular statement. Oh, you look good for having kids. Does that mean, and I've said this many, many times to people, I've gone, so does that mean that you shouldn't look good because you have kids? Like, as a woman, I'm going, as a mom, I'm like, so does that mean that because I have kids, I'm supposed to all of a sudden not look good? I'm supposed to all of a sudden not care about myself? I'm supposed to all of a sudden what? Like, what does this mean? Like, motherhood is supposed to make me something that I'm not? motherhood should actually blossom us. Motherhood should, like, yeah, you get a little bit more curvy and everything, but you should be a little bit more in your body. You should be a little bit more secure in yourself. You should like love like, to put it into Fergie context, love your lady lumps, right? Like, just like love yourself a little bit more. And I think that motherhood definitely can do that for us if we look at it as the beautiful gift that it is, not as, oh, you're a mom, so you should be blah, 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 blah. The things that we contribute to motherhood, which I guess is not too favorable, which is really, really sad because, us moms out there in the world, like, we're the ones that are the nurturers. We're the ones that are raising our next generations. And I would like to think that the majority of moms out there want to do a good job and want to love themselves through it as well. So it's really just comes back to, like, pay attention to, there's those statements. So it's like, have that emotional maturity to pay attention to what you are saying and how it can be translated and taken to the other side. But then you have the receiving side of the comment, right? Now, I was completely joking in all my stuff, and even and you have to realize that with me, even when I say something, I'm always trying to make a point. I'm always trying to make the other side aware in some fashion or form. Like, the coach in me just never rests. Sometimes that drives me crazy, but the coach in me never rests. So I'm always trying to make that a point and trying to create some sort of experience there, like some sort of recognition, get through the reticular and bring it into the front of somebody's mind of, like, whoa, I didn't mean it like that. Like, that's not at all what I meant. Because I believe that conscious relating is definitely something that we can, as a society, get better with. And it would solve a lot of issues in our world and our relationships and our work, even just with ourselves, if we could actually consciously relate, which means to be aware of what we are saying, how we're saying it, and how the receiving side might be receiving it, taking it, right? Because it is really truly, in here we're trying to give a compliment, right? Like, we'll go back to what I used to get a lot of, and still when I mention, oh, I have 7 kids, people go, oh, well, you look great for having kids. And it is that right there. They're trying to give a compliment. When people say such things, it's supposed to be a compliment. But if we're super sensitive, and here's the receiving side's responsibility of this, is that as the receiver of said compliment that's not really a compliment, but the outside is trying to make it a compliment, right? Just not realizing what they're saying. We don't have to be so super sensitive. We can actually go, hey, and take it from a more mature level. But at the same time, if you're definitely, like, with kids and everything, you can try to make that communication a little bit better. Now, with close friends, with lovers, with my children, I am very, very direct. Sometimes I get just playful. My directness comes out and just in picking and play, which is what it was over this weekend. I was just running with, like, oh my gosh, you offended me. Oh my gosh, you offended me. And I was like, So I know Addison, even after, she was like, you weren't really offended, were you? Like, you didn't really get hurt by this. And I was like, no, like, I'm not, I don't care. It's not really bugging me. But the reason why I was doing that was because some of the things that I'm seeing out in the world today, in social media, in our social media world, in our actual friendship world, even with, like, my clients, with my children, with my friends, with my family, is really, I've been noticing, and I see it every now and then, like, really rise up and get even bigger, but right now I definitely see a lot of it. And that is that we are so easily offended. We're so easily offended, and we take everything that anyone is doing as though it is an attack on us. And this is where the 40-year-old kindergartner comes into play again. Because if we were dealing with a kindergartner who went to school and was like, and I just, like Gabe, my 6-year-old, about a month and a half ago, he was coming home for about a week, and he was saying, Mom, I don't want to go to school tomorrow. And I said, why don't you want to go to school? And he said, because the kids at school are mean to me. And I said, well, what are they doing that's mean to you, honey? And he says, well, they don't want to play with me on the whatever, right? On the slide. I was like, oh, well, are they, like, that's not being mean. Just because somebody doesn't want to play with you, that maybe they wanted to play with somebody else today. He's like, no, they're being mean to me. They said, I don't want to play on the slide with you. And he took that as that. So, he felt that it was almost an attack. He was like, I don't even want to go to school, because he took what one or two kids said in just their desire of not to go down the slide with him at that time, probably, as though it was, this every child in his class now at recess was being mean to him, and he was offended at that kindergarten emotional maturity level of the whole class is now being mean to me because these two kids or whatever said that they didn't want to play on the slide. And when I really started discussing it with him, I found out, well, no, they wanted to play on the monkey bars, they wanted to play on the swing, they just didn't want to go down the slide. But he took away, I wanted to go down the slide, and they didn't want to go down the slide with me when I asked them, so now they're being mean. They're being mean. They're being, they're being mean to me. That hurt my feelings. And now I don't want to go to school because that hurt my feelings. And even at kindergarten, I'm like, wow, get over it. Like, this is like, come on. And I mean, yeah, I have a lot more compassion and sensitivity than that with my 6-year-old, but explaining and just breaking it down. But here's God's honest truth on this, and that's probably going to make it where I can't boost this because I just said that word, right? We should be able to say whatever we want. I swear, we really should. But anyway, neither here nor there. Maybe if I keep going, nobody will notice. But the truth is that here we are, a society of adults, and we're acting at the emotional maturity level of a kindergartner quite often, to the point that we are pointing fingers out and we are saying, oh, that person posted this update on their wall and I didn't like what they had to say. So I feel that was a direct attack because that goes against everything that I believe. Or this person was bragging too much about how amazing their world was, and I think that they shouldn't be able to brag like that, so I'm going to report them. And that goes against our, our social guidelines to do too much of that. That person showed too much shoulder, okay? And I was offended because I saw too much of her shoulders. And I think that's just not right. Or, that person's too smiley, that person's too grumpy, that person's too this. That makes me feel this way, that makes me feel this way, that makes me feel that way. That person did this and that makes me feel this way. That person posted this picture and I didn't like it and it made me feel this way. That person said this in their live broadcast and I just, that really got to me. It really got to me, and it really got down there deep in my gut, in my innards, and it just made me go, oh, like that. And I felt something. And that made me feel uncomfortable because I actually felt something. So I think that they're attacking me. I'm going to send them a message. I'm going to send them a private message. I'm going to say, I don't appreciate how you said blah, 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 blah. Or I don't appreciate how you posted blah, 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 blah. Or you get into some debate. Like what? If we here on Facebook, we love to debate, right? Everybody loves to debate. So we debate. And I was just talking to my daughter because she was following a debate on vaccines. My pregnant daughter, she was following a debate on vaccines and was just reading through things, and we were having a talk about it, and we look at things pretty similar. I just neither here nor there. But there was 72 comments or something, I think she told me. So almost 80 comments maybe of debate back and forth. And a lot of the debate comments, when we were reading through them, it was quite laughable because some of the comments was just like, well, how dare you say that? Because you don't understand my situation, and you saying that makes me feel this way or makes me feel that way. And, I don't. That's not right that you don't agree with me. Basically, that's what they were saying. That's not right that you don't agree with me. Isn't that so kindergarten? Isn't that just so kindergarten? I mean, at best, it's first, second, third, fourth, maybe fourth grade. And then, yeah, we kind of get forgetful in high school, too, when we go, oh, so-and-so did this. The point is that it's not the maturity level of a conscious adult. It's not the maturity level of a conscious adult. And isn't that where we find our peace? Isn't that where we find our joy, our bliss? Isn't that where we really can find who we are by becoming more conscious instead of turning all of our power over to everybody else, including other people's social media walls and tweets and threads and Instagram pictures and Facebook posts and blog posts and live streams and blog talk radio shows and everything, and like, oh my gosh, I heard this on the radio and I feel attacked by it. I saw this on the web and I feel attacked by it. Just think of that. It's crazy to me. It's just so crazy to me. You know, I was driving home. I was thinking about, sorry, I'm like thirsty today. Driving home from dropping my son off at school, I was thinking about this time. It was probably like 5-6 years ago. I was at a taco restaurant. I'll never forget. It's like a Sunday brunch. We went for breakfast tacos. And I was at this taco restaurant with all my kids and my partner at the time, my baby daddy. And we're sitting there and we're just talking and eating tacos, right? So we're talking and I just was sitting there, had tacos in front of me, kids around me, my partner across from me, and I remember like just staring off into nothing. I was actually just looking out the window of the restaurant, and you know how you just get that daze where you're just like staring and you're not really seeing anything that's in front of you. You're just kind of drifted off and you're completely up here. You're thinking about all of this other stuff. Well, that's what I was doing. I'm looking out the window. I did not see any people in the building when I was doing this until this woman, that I'm looking out this window, and this woman just becomes irate, and she's just like, what is she looking at? Oh my God, what is she looking at? Blah, 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 blah. And she starts pointing her finger at me. She startled me. I was like, wait, what the heck, right? And she starts just cussing and cursing and pointing her finger and saying, you can't look over here. I don't want you looking at me. What are you thinking? How dare you judge me like that? I mean, that's what she's throwing at me. She's verbalizing this at the top of her lungs in the restaurant. And all I was doing was sitting there thinking about other things that we were talking about, just in a daze, staring at the window. She made the assumption that I was doing all this other stuff that was not happening. Well, it was happening once she brought that all to my attention and she went off on everything, right? Then I was like, oh, okay, well, now I'm having like, what's going on with you? Like, why would you go into defense mode, attack mode, just because I'm sitting here with my family eating tacos, looking out a public window? And yeah, so that's really quite the point there, is that, you know, the emotional maturity level that we tend to have is so this big, right? Like, we really do not do well. We are always consistently giving away our power, our personal power, in such little ways like this that are humongous ways. And we do it consistently throughout the day. We do it consistently in relationship, in, you know, at work, and at home, with our families, with our friends, here on the web, you know, at social media land. We do that. It's really just, we're constantly giving our power away by putting the blame out there, by believing that this world owes us something, or that the world is attacking us, or that the world even really truly cares in all these different ways. You know, when somebody's just sharing a picture, or just sharing their thought, or just sharing a story, or just sharing a live like this, it doesn't, you know, 100 people might like it and 1,000 people might go and not like it, or, you know, feel offended by it. Well, I'm sorry if anything that I said offends you here. The reality is that we shouldn't be offended by what somebody else is just sharing or stating. There is no reason for it. There is no direct attack happening. The only direct attack happening is the direct attack that's happening inside our heads that is triggering something inside of us and making us go, whoa, because when we feel under attack and somebody has not actually come up to us and attacked us, then that attack, all that judgment, all that criticism, all that fear, all that anger, all those thoughts that you are taking on and believing are coming from somebody else's whatever it is not happening outside of you. It is only happening right here in your own head. That's it. Plain and simple. Done. And it's such a basic thing, right? It's such a basic thing. The basics that I wanted to talk about on this live is just the basics of just becoming present. Be present in your own body and just, take a breather. Hit the pause button, as I like to call it. I always talk about the big Staples red pause button, and then you got to install one inside your being, because you've got to hit that puppy anytime you start to feel yourself become reactive. And instead of becoming reactive, just go pause, because often what you think you are experiencing, what you are perceiving happening, is the furthest from the truth. Somebody really isn't saying what they are saying that you think that they're saying. Somebody's not really posting something to just get to you. Somebody is not, directing different things at you or judging you. Quite often, we are so caught up in our own worlds, we're too busy to really, the majority of people are not present enough to look out into the world and really have the time to give much conscious attention to all this other stuff that we believe that they are giving attention to. And when they do give attention to it, they're giving about this much attention to it, and then it's gone. It's gone because there's so many other things coming and going. We all have our set of issues and challenges, our stuff that is rising up inside of us, our fears, our doubts, the things that we worry about. We are all overthinking everything every single day for the most part. And the way to stop taking on all this other baggage is to just hit that pause button and to reset ourselves back inside ourselves and go, okay, is this true? Is this true that that person is attacking me, accusing me, judging me, criticizing me, coming at me in some way? Why am I feeling this way? Like, really, truly, why is it that what that person said, posted, did, shared in whatever fashion it is, why is it triggering me like this? Because if each and every one of us did that kind of work of just slowing down and saying, why is this triggering me? And taking responsibility for our own trigger, imagine how much more emotionally sound we would be, happier we would be, peaceful we would be, how much better our communication lines would be, and just overall how much better the world would be by just that one simple little thing. So there you go. There is my thoughts of this absolutely beautiful, what is this? This is Thursday. Beautiful Thursday afternoon now. I mean, it's a shame to think that so many people are out there drifting around and not even seeing the light that really is all around them and the beauty in their lives, and being able to take in and appreciate all the blessings that they have in their day-to-day life. So, as always, if I said anything in this talk that touched your heart, your soul, made you think, maybe even upset you, triggered you in some way, or just really supported something that you've been feeling or experiencing as well, please leave, if you're catching the replay, just hit hashtag replay. Let me know that you're catching the replay on it for sure. But leave it in the comments section. Feel free to hit the share button. Help me promote this video and other Conscious Coffee Talks as well. And you can follow me at www.kendallwilliams.com, or like this page, follow me here on Facebook. And as always, stop existing, start living, and I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Bye, guys.